So, good evening, everyone. My name is Tasha. I am a double gold consultant and recently a three-time IATAN card holder. All right. So, we're going to talk about how we build value and communicate that value as a travel agent. Okay. I was asking people in the chat to let me know if they have any struggles with that. All right. Someone has said, I struggle with communicating why using a travel agent is beneficial to the client. We are absolutely talking about that because it is beneficial to the client. All right. People may not realize it is, but it is. I was just in another meeting and, one of our agents was talking about how she booked somebody on a cruise and they traveled with, oh, I'm dropping something, sorry. They traveled with another couple who didn't book with a travel agent. And while there weren't any issues, she did some things that were above and beyond for her clients. And they were like, wait a minute, why didn't we get that? Well, you didn't book with my travel agent, right? And those types of things. And that is not the only value we bring. But had there been issues on that trip, they wouldn't have had somebody to turn to, whereas her clients did. Okay. So at the very bare minimum thought process, that is a huge, huge benefit. You're in their corner. You're on their side when they're traveling. But let's first, I like to look at what we're not. In order to understand what we are and what value we provide, first we have to understand what we're not, right? My mic's way low. Let me fix that. That should be better. We are not a booking site, right? Anyone can go on a booking website and book themselves a trip and hope it's what they want it to be. But we're not a booking site. We are not a quote provider. We are not the person that somebody reaches out to and says, oh, I just want to find out how much it is. Great. I will tell you how much it is, but are you prepared to book with me if I find what you're looking for? Right? If you are continually just providing people quotes and they're not booking, you're going to want to get with your mentor and let us evaluate your process because that is you wasting your time and not getting paid for it. Right? We're not a booking site. There's a reason why, for the most part, we don't just send a link and clients book things. Right? I have never once, and I'll be 100% honest here, never once have I sent my Evolution website to somebody to have them book there. I don't want them to book there. My understanding, now I've never had someone book there, so I don't know 100%. What I've been told is that starting commission that we get 80% of is lower than if we book it somewhere ourselves. And you get minimal information about what they booked. So there's no way for you to help service that trip because you just aren't getting the info from when they book on there. Why am I going to do that when I can do what I need for them? This one's important. We are not the bargain basement, cheap option. That is not who we are. Now, am I going to find a friend of mine who's struggling, who really just wants to take a weekend trip, a cheap hotel? Probably, but that's not the bulk of my clients, right? You advertise yourself as cheap, that's what you're going to book. It's not our job to beat someone's price. That's not our job, right? So let's talk about who we are. We are travel professionals. And I'm going to tell you step one of building value is valuing yourself and what you bring to the table. Even if you are a brand new agent and you feel like you know nothing, you are a certified travel agent. And You have enough people to lean on and turn to for help that have the knowledge and experience to make sure you can come across that way. Which is why we tell you to reach out to us and let us help you. I've had a lot of people who let their ego get in the way and they don't ask for help because they're afraid if I let Tasha know I can't do this by myself, she's going to think I can't do this. No, I'm not. I'm going to think you're strong and smart for asking for help because that's why we're here. And it's one of the things that sets us apart from other host agencies. You have the support and the backing to help you. Now, the meeting I just came from was a, a monthly team meeting for a smaller team that I'm a leader on. Okay. There is somebody on that team who came from another host agency. And when we were celebrating, bookings, someone said, "Hey, I want to know how's she doing that this, only a month or so in." Well, she had clients already lined up. She came as already a travel agent. But she said, and she cried. She was so emotional about this. She said, "What I learned there, I learned on my own. And nobody was there to help me and support me. And the world of difference I experience here, I can't even explain it. And I know I'm in the right place now." And she was crying. And this is one of the major host agencies. I'm not going to name it. I'm not going to call it out, but a major competitor to Archer and Evolution. And she told us what it was like or not like and what we offer that they don't. We're travel professionals. Now they're professionals, but they all worry about their own business, maybe. We help each other when you don't know it. Somebody just put in the chat that they're pretty new and they feel like they're excited, but they don't want to start too much because they don't feel like they know enough. You don't have to as long as you let us help you. All right, somebody reached out to you, you call your mentor or text them, be like, "Hey, somebody reached out, what do I do?" All right, I'm going to tell you what to do. And after you do this step, call me back and I'm going to help you on the next step. I really tell my new agents at least their first 5 bookings. Reach out to me, or you can also reach out to your golds or your platinums. We provide a service. We don't just look up a price and book a flight and a hotel or a cruise. We're full service. That service includes giving them information about that cruise ship, tips and tricks for going to Disney World, making sure they know about proper documentation to get on that flight or to get in and out of the country. While we can't process that documentation for them, we can give them the information they need and tell them what website they go to get it so that they don't accidentally go on one of those passport processing website that's not really the application directly through the US government, right? If they book on their own, no one's helping them with that. No one's making sure that when they booked a flight that has a layover, they have enough time. Because the general public may not know you should really have at least an hour if you're flying domestically. And if you're flying internationally and you have a layover in another country, you probably want 3 hours or more, especially your first stop back into the US from another country because you have to go through customs. And sometimes you have to go through customs, leave the terminal you're in, go to another terminal, go back through TSA to get to your new gate. And people think, "Oh, I don't want a long layover. I'm just going to book this one. I've always been fine with an hour before." But they've never traveled internationally before. And without a travel agent, they didn't get that information. And now they missed their flight and they're stuck with no one to call to help them. It's full service. Our service doesn't stop with when we book the trip. Our service doesn't stop until our client is back home safely. And a website isn't going to do that they book themselves. Good luck calling Expedia. Now, the travel agent version is better. Good luck calling Priceline and reaching a person when you get to your hotel and they don't have your reservation. It's not going to happen. You're not going to reach a person. And the hotel won't work directly with you because you booked third party. Whereas they get there and they don't have it, they call us and we get it fixed, right? We're also going to customize experiences and packages. We're going to listen to our clients and what they want and what their goals are for this trip so that we can put together something that is fit just for them. I often tell people, I could book 5 different clients the same week to all-inclusive hotel resorts in Cancun area. And they can be 5 completely different trips. Would it be easy for me to just go, okay, they're all flying from, maybe they were all even from the same area. Those who don't know me, I'm a teacher. I have a lot of people who travel my same vacation weeks that are from this area, whether they're coworkers or people who have kids in school. I could be like, okay, I'm going to book everybody from Boston on this flight. They're going to get at this time. They're all going to go to the same resort, and then they're going to come home the same day. That'd be really easy, right? I just turned into a booking website. But really what's going to happen is this is a couple going, and they want an adults only romantic setting with luxury appointments and luxury, they want a spa, they want luxury level service, maybe club level, right? This is a family that is traveling with multiple generations, and they want a resort that has a beach and multiple pools. It has different ages of kids clubs. They want, activities that are great for grandma, but also for the little kids. That's a completely different experience. And that was just 2, right? Maybe now we have a group of moms who are all going together without the kids and the husbands or their partners. They want a Mom's Gone Wild trip on their spring break, right? And maybe another trip is a group of college kids that are going for a different kind of People Gone Wild spring break. And then I have another family who really appreciates and values time in nature and activities outside. So I'm going to make sure I find a resort that matches that. See how that's all the same dates, the same week, the same destination? If I didn't listen to what they wanted, they wouldn't be satisfied. And I can make sure that I research those places so that I'm not accidentally sending them somewhere that they're not going to feel safe or that they're not going to enjoy, right? That customization only comes from building a relationship with your client. You may have never been in a training with me before when I talk about clients. This is a relationship building business. Now, besides protecting yourself and making sure you're working with a real person, that's why we get on the phone. That initial contact, once they've told you they want to book something with you, is on the phone because that's step 1 of building the relationship. If you don't build the relationship, you can't properly help your clients. If you don't listen to what they want, you're not doing your job. And they're definitely not going to refer you to someone else or come back and book again. Right? Next, we handle everything and we solve problems. If somebody books their cruise directly through Carnival Cruise Line, Carnival is not, they might get them flights if they do the Fly to the Fun program. But for the most part, not getting them flights, not getting them a hotel before the cruise, They do offer airport shuttles, but nobody has told them where to find that, right? Literally, they go on the website, they book the cruise, they book the cruise. Or they call someone on the phone to book through the cruise line, they book the cruise. Those people on the phone don't even recommend the Fly to the Fun program, even though it exists, and they could book their flights. That being said, I don't usually use the airline program through the cruise lines. I usually take care of it separate to make sure I'm in control of it. Sometimes when you do it through the airline, or through the cruise line, there's no control. My client wants to change something before the event, before the trip. I take care of it. I'm the one that, if we have to call, sits on hold. Now, that being said, sometimes when you click the little press this number, if you're a travel agent, you get through quicker than the general public line. But I'm not going to let my clients sit on hold. First of all, usually they can't make changes because we're in charge. We own the booking. We usually have to. Here's an example of something. Was it last week? It was either last week or the week before. Disney dropped a whole bunch of promotions for this summer. And if you don't really book Disney, you may not know this, but you can apply discounts after the trip has been booked. Typically up until within 30 days when the final payment's made. Sometimes even after that, they'll do it. So I was like, okay, I've got some clients traveling this summer to Disney. Let me see if adjusting their promo, one, if it would apply, and two, if it would be beneficial. I was able to, now I didn't even contact my client. They didn't even know I was trying. I went in, I applied the kids 50% off theme park ticket promo. Nothing else changed. They still have all the elements, the same hotel, the same number of parks, still a park hopper, all that stuff. But now their two children, their theme park tickets were cut in half, and I saved them $940. They didn't even know I did it until I sent a message and said, hey, good news. A new promo came out today. I was just able to save you $940 off of your total cost. They were thrilled, right? We watch for things like that. Price drops. We get emails from our vendors and suppliers telling us when promos come out that we could then apply, that we could reprice. We get information from cruise lines when we have a possible upgrade that we can give our clients. We know which rate codes we've booked under that have a price guarantee if the price drops. Somebody booking for themselves wouldn't know that and wouldn't know how to solve it or get that discount. And when I say that, the comments and questions in the Disney groups the day that those promos came out were all over the place. And the responses people were giving were not correct. People didn't know they didn't know if they could take advantage of it. They didn't know how they could take advantage of it. They were confused. They were confusing the different promos. Now, if I wasn't sure, I wouldn't have gone to those Facebook groups. I would have come to our team and asked, hey, I don't really book Disney, but these promos just, dropped. Is it something I can give my clients that already booked? And somebody would have been able to help me, right? That's a service that they can't get, right? And we do also solve problems. Last minute or at some point, they need to change the date of their trip. They need to, cancel. Their flight has been delayed and they're going to miss their next flight. Another experienced agent on our trip had this happen. She had a client who was in Europe. By the time the notification came out about the flight delay for his morning flight, he was sound asleep. It was midnight, right? In the middle of the night. She was able to rebook his second flight for him while he was sleeping so that he now wouldn't miss a connection and he would still get home the same day. She was able to send him a message that he woke up to that said, "Hey, in case you see that your flight was delayed, no worries. I've already taken care of it so that you will get a new connecting flight. Check your app for the new flights." Instead of waking up early in the morning when he had to rush to the airport, getting to the airport and then realizing, oh, this is delayed so much, I'm going to miss my connection, and then trying to figure it out and maybe not being able to. She took care of it for him. These are the things that we do and why we're so valuable. There is a question in the chat. If you change something for your clients and save them money, the commission does typically go down. But you know what? For me, that's not my priority. My priority is not how much money can I make on my client. And I don't think that's yours either. It's more important to me that I'm providing a service and doing what's in the best interest of my client. Because had that promo been available when we booked back in October, we would have booked under it. Now the Disney commission is pretty high already because they're in a deluxe level hotel with a fireworks view of the park. You know, like I'm making plenty of money on them. I'm not worried about it. Okay. Which brings me to another point. I'm going to talk Disney. I love Disney. I book a lot of Disney. All right. Let me pull up. Let me pull up a different Facebook page. One of my recent clients, they posted directly on my Facebook page a review. Not my business page, but I don't care. I took a screenshot of it and put it on my business page right here. Now, most of what I did to make their trip go smooth, I don't get a single penny for. I don't get a single penny for giving them tips and tricks. I don't get a single penny for booking their dining reservations or the princess and prince makeovers that we did for the kids. I don't get a single penny for helping them book their lightning lanes, which is the skip the line program, or helping them plan out their meals because they had the meal plan. But this family's never been to Disney. This mom was so stressed out and getting anxious about her trip. I helped. Things I would have done anyway, but I went a little over what I normally do because they've never been. All right. But look what she wrote about me. Not only does she think I'm the best Disney planner ever, greatest travel agent and Disney planner. I have over 5,500 followers on my Facebook page that all saw this. I would highly recommend Tasha for any of our travel needs, your travel needs. What she did truly made the difference. And then she took pictures of the stuff I sent her to help her. Right? Now, I will tell you, I was able to send this home because the children happen to be my students. But had they not, I would have done it sooner and mailed it to them. So they had it. Or sent it electronically. But I printed out the map of the park and I gave them, like, here's where you're going to start. This is going to, because they were so worried about backtracking back and forth and extra walking and all of that. I helped plan out, here's your route, here's what you're going to do. Right? This one's sideways, but I'll do the next page. Highlighted what they already had booked and what they should do to scan in next. Because people don't know that if they've never done it before. Right? But at the same time said to her, this is an idea of what would work well, but you also have to go with it. If it doesn't work, you have to be okay with, we can't get everything done. And as long as we hit the things that are absolute musts, they're absolute musts. And everything else can be pushed aside. And now I did also send a package from Amazon to the hotel, right? Maybe cost me $30 to $40 total. There was a little drawstring backpack for each of the kids, an autograph book, and I made sure I got the big pens because characters have big hands. They can't use a regular size pen or a Sharpie marker to sign the books. And cheap knockoff little sparkly, a Mickey ear and a Minnie ear because they had a boy and a girl, right? Little thing that doesn't cost them a lot of money, doesn't cost me a lot of money, but made a difference for them. Other things I do for my clients who are first-time cruisers, sometimes not even first-time cruisers, but mostly first-time cruisers, I will send them lanyards. And the kind I like has a little clip so you can unclip your card and hand it to them without having to take off and on your lanyard. Enough for everyone. And also the plastic luggage tag covers, because the luggage tags for a cruise, you print them out. They're paper. Now they say just to staple it on, but I don't want that to, what if it's raining? What if, it gets ripped off? These are actual luggage tags you put it in. I send those always to first-time cruisers, right? Little touches that show that you actually care about how their trip goes. Other benefits of using a travel agent. First of all, it's completely free. There's no extra cost built in. So many people don't realize that they're not paying extra to cover your commission. And if you're a brand new agent and don't realize this yet, there's already a commission built in, right? That Disney trip, they didn't pay me a dime over what the cost of the trip was. Now, what I didn't tell you is they already had to cancel it and remove it from October, and we rebooked the whole thing for this past spring, right? And they had a ticket they were supposed to do the Not So Scary Halloween party, and those are not transferable or refundable. But what they are is you get to keep the value, what you paid, and apply it to any other ticket later. So we added on to their 4-day park and gave them a single day at Magic Kingdom to end their trip, right? But it doesn't cost people anything. So if they had booked that themselves, Disney would have kept the money. Giant company Disney, they don't need that commission. I need that commission, right? Carnival Cruise Line doesn't need that commission. My small business does. So honestly, one of the things, especially people I know, I'm very transparent. And I say, that trip you're booking, you can pay the money to Marriott because they're going to keep the commission. You're paying it no matter what. Or you can book it through me and support my small business. When it's people in my life that I already know, I will be really transparent and blunt about it. I can take care of everything for you, right? And sometimes we do have to educate people and say, because they'll say, oh, I don't want to spend extra money to book with a travel agent. Well, you're not spending extra money. My services are free. And I do, when people ask me, how does this work? Well, how do I pay you? Do I pay you? What is it? I will tell people, me personally, and now some of you might charge fees, some of you might not. I do not charge a fee unless I'm not getting paid a commission. So if I'm booking just flights for somebody and there's no commission on flights, I will charge a fee. And I tell them that before I start working. I say, I can definitely arrange this for you, but just so you know, because we don't get paid to book airfare, I do charge a service fee. Or when I'm booking with, and I'll tell them, or I charge a fee when I'm booking with my wholesale vendors because there's no commission built in. But typically when I charge that fee, I'm still saving you a significant amount of money because it's a rate only I can access. but I need to ensure I get paid for my work as well. I don't hide the fact that I'm doing that. But for the most part, I get paid by the companies I book through. So I don't charge you a fee. And honestly, when things go wrong, a lot of times it saves people money. For air travel, me personally, I typically will charge for a domestic flight $50 per person round trip. If it's a one-way flight, I'll do 25. And if it's international, I charge a minimum of $100 per person round trip, but depending on the complexity. If it's a really complex, lots of connections, I may charge more than that. That's what I charge. Again, it's your business. You can choose though. But that's pretty I think fair and standard. Some people for international flights will charge like a percentage of what the cost of the trip is. I I just want some compensation for what I'm doing, right? It does save people time and stress. A lot of people come to me because they're overwhelmed by the process and the decision making, right? Or people that book most of their own travel, but now they've got a large family group with lots of moving parts, and they're like, "Oh, I can't even imagine putting this together. Can you help me?" And then once I do that, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna use you for my easy stuff now too." Right? So many people don't have that time in their life to take care of it. And for the people who say, I like being involved in the planning process, I like the planning. Okay, you can be as involved in me making decisions for you as you want, or me finding things as you want. Or, hey, if you really love doing this, why don't you do this? Right? Stop letting me make the money. Why don't you make the money on your own trip then? If you're going to plan it all yourself, I can help you, and you don't have to do anything except book your own trips, but you can be a travel agent. I I tell people that. Like I have no reason to be anything but open and honest. For those people who are like, I like to plan it, so I'm not going to use you. Great. Can I show you how you can make money on your own trips then? If you don't want to be my client, I can help you another way, and you can make money and get discounts. We have knowledge and expertise. Now, as I said before, maybe you don't feel like you have knowledge and expertise. You're super new, or you're booking a kind of trip you never have before. That's where we come in. You reach out to your mentor, your gold, your platinums. Let us help you. I am almost 3 years in. I just qualified. Well, I just got my renewal for my third IATAN card. I'm more than qualified for the second one with with commissions paid out. I still ask people for help because I get people who reach out to me and want things booked outside of my specialties or things I've never booked before. Or it's in my specialty, but they're tricky and I need to bounce ideas off of people. You don't have to know it all to act like you know it all. All right. No problem. I'm glad this is helpful. All right. You just need to know where to lean on if you don't know the info. Okay. We also plan for the unexpected and then handle it if it happens. We already talked about how we handle things, but we also like to teach you to anticipate that. When we teach you about the whole booking process, I often teach about know the weather when you have clients traveling. Know if there might be something that could throw a hiccup in their travel plans so that you already have ideas of what will I do to fix this if this happens. Archer often puts out something, especially around busy travel times, the holidays, stuff like that, summer travel. They have a flyer, what to tell your client to do if their flight gets canceled while they're at the airport. Because oftentimes they can get somebody to help them quicker than we can get on the phone. And I've had times where the airline has told me, it's in the airport's hands because the clients are already there and they won't do anything. So we have something we can say, hey, this you're traveling over Thanksgiving. I'm going to send you a list of what to do if your flight, just in case if it gets canceled or you miss a connection. Here's what you have to say to the gate people to help you or the customer service desk. We know that Thanksgiving and Christmas, there can be cancellations for flights, especially if they're traveling through winter weather areas. So we can give them that information. Or we can be prepared to fix things that need to be fixed. This is an important statement. Notice I didn't say we find the cheapest rate. Because sometimes the cheapest rate is the cheapest experience. And they're not going to be satisfied. But what we do is find the best value for what they're looking for. The best value. Not the cheapest rate. I'm going to find them the best price that includes everything they want and their requirements for that trip. I'm also going to educate my clients if they give me a budget that's completely unrealistic. I'm not going to go try to search for something that I know is not findable. I'm going to say, okay, the budget you gave me isn't going to be enough. What of that, things you'd like is negotiable? Can we lower the total trip by a night or two? Instead of 7 nights, I could probably find it in that budget range for 5 nights. Are you okay with that? Right? So instead of them going crazy, somebody trying to search on their own, we can be like, I don't want to tell you this, but it's unrealistic to find it for that price, especially the time of year you want to travel or something like that. Instead of somebody looking online and pulling their hair out going, my friend said that they went for that amount of price. How come I can't find it? Well, because you're looking Christmas week and they looked during hurricane season for an all-inclusive in the Caribbean, right? Best value. What's going to give them the most bang for their buck and as many of their must-haves as we can, or more than their must-haves if it fits in that budget, right? What can we do to make this the best experience possible for the best pricing? Not the cheapest rate. I never want to hear people say cheap. Don't be the cheap travel agent. Because you know what happens when you're the cheap travel agent? You got really low paychecks. Really low. We don't want to book a hotel that's going to give us a $10 commission. Because really, it's $8 when you get your 80%. Right? Best value, not just cheapest. All right. I know this is tons of info, but I'm going to open it up. You can either unmute or you can type in the chat questions. Hopefully some of this was helpful in how do I combat those questions. As I told you, I'm transparent. I will tell my client, I will answer any question they ask me. Well, why is it better to use you? I just told you all those reasons, right? Here's what I do to provide a service for you that you're paying for anyway. Because the company's going to keep it if you don't work with me, or they're going to pay it to me. I do have a recording of this. I do have a recording of this, and I can share that. I will pull it up. All right. But other questions? All right, so we have a question that says, this may sound silly, but how do you charge just for your services? Do you send an invoice? Or don't ever say sorry because you're new. You don't know what you don't know, right? I'm just pulling up my video that I've made in the past on this. So a lot of us will use some kind of a payment processing service like Square, Stripe, any of those types of things. Check with your mentor if they have one they use, because oftentimes if they do, they will have a referral code. And what that does is a lot of times what that referral code does is it will waive so many months of or so many dollars worth of credit card processing fees. All right. I know that with my Square referral, when I give it to agents that I mentor, it's like $1,000 worth of credit card processing fees. So I just put the link in the chat of mine. It is from almost a year ago, but it's the same training or the same general ideas. Let me pull up and I'll share my screen again. Um, I use Canva to make invoices. Um, so, oh. And a lot of those payment systems will also have a way that you could invoice. But however, I also recommend an invoice if you're doing a package with multiple components. All right. Here's one. I actually helped an agent with this one last week. I just want to make sure her info is not on there. All right. Her phone number. So for example, here were the cost of the flights for 3 people. This much per person. That's the total. A 4-bedroom home rental they were doing through Expedia Tap, the total cost. The rental car they were getting, total cost. And the non-refundable booking fee of $400. Originally, this was 4 people, so it was $100 per person. It's really for the airline, that $400 for the airline. So this would be, and then here's the info their client needs. Total cost per person, travel insurance not included, but we can add it. Airfare and home rental payment due at booking, car rental payment due at pickup, additional costs for seats together on the flight, because she was going to have to upgrade the seats when she checked it because there's no free seats together. All right. And then checked bag fee would be $35 per person each way, so $70 per person total. This gives them complete transparency of their costs, right? So this would be 4 separate charges because for some reason where they were going, we couldn't bundle the house and the rental car. It's probably because this is through Vrbo, but on Expedia Tap. So they would have a charge for $2,173 to American Airlines, a charge for the $8,000 plus to Expedia Tap for the house. They wouldn't have to pay the car rental until pickup, so that charge would not happen. However, they probably needed the credit card to hold the booking, so I would still do a credit card authorization form. And then a charge for my booking fee to Square. Okay. Now, here's one of mine I've done in trainings before. A lot of times I'm only using these for instant commissions. Now I found a great deal on the Universal Hard Rock Hotel on RoomRes. It was significantly less. It was about $1,200 less than on through Vax through Universal. So always check those things. Then I put in their park tickets, they'd be on Vax, and then I was charging $600 because I tend to charge half of the savings when it's an instant commission. They're still saving over $600 when I combine that together from what it would have been if I booked it there. Now, there is a question that says, do I need to get Square right away? If you are not charging any fees, you don't need Square. However, Square doesn't cost you, but when you're using someone's referral link, it's so many days from when you sign up that you can use that discount on processing fees. So that's the reason I would say wait to do something like Square. Just not because it costs you and you'd be paying for it, but because um the credit card fees are only waived for so many days, up to $1,000 of them. All right. There's a question, is Square better than PayPal? So a lot, I've never used PayPal for it. I've been told there's higher fees for PayPal than for Square. Some people will use something like Venmo. I feel like that doesn't look as professional as something like a PayPal or a Square or a Stripe. Um, with that being said, have I had people who know me personally who are like, I'm just gonna Apple Cash you? Yep, sure have. And they send it to me through Apple Cash. All right. So it's not necessarily a is it better or worse? They're just different. But I have been told I think the fees are higher on PayPal than on Square. Now, that being said, I think I'm going to switch to Stripe because I can integrate it with my customer management system to charge fees. I don't do a ton of instant commissions and um, flights because it's not what my clients are booking. So, I mean, I book a ton of cruises and a lot of Disney, and those just don't have instant commissions in them. So, there's that. Actually, there are absolutely trainings on instant commissions. Couple things I'm going to show you right now. Let me bring my screen back up. If you look in the back office, there are corporate trainings that are held every single week. If you scroll down, not the presentations. If it says presentation, that's for people who are interested in becoming travel agents. But if I scroll down, there's some. Jody has booked millions of dollars of travel. She is just a resource. And if I wasn't in school teaching at 10 a.m., I would be on there every first Tuesday of the month. You bet I'm going to be on there once school's out on Tuesdays, right? But here's our trainings. Every single Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific, which is noon my time, I'm on the East Coast, there's an Evo Plus workshop. Evo Plus is our um, exclusive wholesale vendor site that is exclusively you're paid through instant commissions because it's the only way you can get paid. There's no commission built in. So absolutely, Tommy Joe, every single week on Thursday, Evo Plus, instant commissions. Also, just last week, our theme of the week was instant commissions. So if you come into Travel Knowledge's Facebook and go to guides, I'm going to scroll down. See how there's like cruise week. There should be one in here. I'm assuming it's been updated. I haven't actually looked. Instant commissions. Oh, now it makes me go down again. All right. Instant commissions. Is that one instant commission? What is an instant commission and where to book to get it? I did a training on that. This person, collect instant commissions with Square invoicing. Just in case people didn't know where to find these, you can go right into the guides and see them. I'm assuming there's some more that are going to get loaded because some people didn't go live. They had a problem with the live and they are going to load their YouTubes. Okay. All right. We have those resources for you. There's should also be on the website, Travel Knowledge website, travel recorded trainings. Come on, page. Instant commissions. Um, Ashley, I don't know the answer to that. If you should use a separate account for Square for your travel business. Maybe if you want to be keeping the finances separate and anything as far as keeping track of income, because I think I think Square will send you tax documentation when it's time if you've made over $600 on there. So you may want to make a separate one, and I would recommend using your own referral code that you have on your existing Square. So look, there's all of these instant commissions in here, trainings recorded as well. Okay. Any other questions about our value as a travel agent? And how we, number one, first you have to feel it in yourself. You have to believe that we have value. You can't fight the why should I use a travel agent if you don't believe the reason yourself or the reasons yourself. There's tons of reasons that we talked about, right? You have to believe it yourself and then communicate that to people and educate the public. A lot of people don't know just what a travel agent does, or that there's even still travel agents out there. I do make sure that I will post content that is also about the value of using me as a travel agent. I just finished a reel today. 5 reasons to use a travel agent. Oh, the sound's not on. That just makes sense. Are you thinking of skipping the travel agent? Let me change your mind. Reason number 1, I save you hours of planning time and stress. Reason number 2, I've got access to exclusive deals and perks so I can get you better rates and value for what you want. Reason 3, all trips are personalized. It's your trip, your way. No cookie cutter stuff here. Reason 4, backup when you need it. Stuff happens. You have a travel hiccup, I've got your back. Reason number 5, it's free. Yeah, my help, completely free. Really. Your dream vacation starts with one message to me. Let's plan it together. So, in general, marketing, do not just sell. Do not just post travel ads. Only about 30% of what you post should be travel ads and advertising your promotions or mock bookings. 30% should be educational, including why are travel agents helpful? I'm going to tell you I got all of that script from ChatGPT. I can't take the credit. All right. ChatGPT is my best friend. All right. Including why we're valuable, including posting things like every single, where is it? I know I posted it. Every single one of us should be getting the word out about real IDs because it's now, as of yesterday, a month from now, you need a real ID to fly on a plane in the United States. It needs to be the license with a star, or they can use their passport if they have one, even if they're not flying international. We need to get the word out about this and show that we know the news about what's important in the travel industry. People are now down to a month until they have to have this, or they're not getting on a plane in the United States. We should all be posting about this. I posted it in multiple ways on different avenues in the past couple of days to remind people. And I have people sending me messages asking, wait, I'm confused. We're going somewhere in mid-May. Do we need to get our IDs updated? We do have passports, but we're going to Washington, D.C. Said, if you have a passport, you're good. I don't care that I didn't book their trip. They now saw that I'm valuable and showing them important information, and maybe next time they're going to contact me for their next trip. Right? Remember, we're a wealth of knowledge and we can help. Okay. So think about what you can post. Ready? Give me ideas for social media content for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to show my value as a travel agent to my followers. You do have to be specific when you ask ChatGPT. Now look what it did. Here's a mix of social media ideas for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to show your value as a travel agent. Build trust and attract both clients and potential team members. Universal content, great for all platforms. Look at all the things it gave me. LinkedIn specific ideas. Instagram specific ideas. Facebook specific ideas. I don't even have to think about it. That video I showed you, I got from ChatGPT. Ready? You want the script? I'll put it right in the chat. This is what I just asked ChatGPT so that I can get. And then it says, usually at the bottom, would you like me to organize these into a weekly content calendar or write captions for a few of these ideas? It asks me what else it could do for me. You should never worry about what you can post because you can find that info. Now, none of this is selling a specific trip. This is all considered under that educational 30%, right? I could also ask it, give me a series of Travel Tip Tuesdays content.
Get that. Could you try
Oh,
again?
I'm not talking to you, watch. For the next 3 months. Here's a 12-week series. There we go. And you can even make these ahead of time and schedule them to post on your travel agent page, your business page. Educational, Travel Tip Tuesday. Right? Showing your value of what we can do. We could do destination highlights. Did you know? We may also want to be posting about the it's ETA. I don't know what exactly. The new, it's not a visa, but you're required to have when you go to the UK now. There's new things you need for the UK. And if you're unsure about those things, you want to make yourself very familiar with this website, travel.state.gov. And you can look at international travel, and you could find a specific country and get that information. You could even search here, UK. Hey, I know there's something people need for the UK, but I don't know what it is, right? It's going to tell me. ETA, Electronic Travel Authorization. I can apply on this website. I can make a post about, did you know that as of January this year, you need a special document to travel to the UK? When you work with me, that's something I help you with, right? Those are all ways that we're showing our value through our posts instead of, I only care about making money from you. We don't just care about making money. We care about helping people, right? We want our clients to have this smooth, seamless experience because we care about helping them. I love doing things for clients. I love planning trips. The fact that I can get paid for doing it is like a giant bonus for me. I mean, do I want to do all that work and not get paid? No, but a lot of what I do even if there wasn't the pay for some of this, right? So we want to, remember Show them why working with us is valuable through the way you post on social media, through the way you interact, through the way you listen to them when they tell you what you want, and you come back with a quote that actually matches the things they told you. And you present that over the phone and you say, I chose this because when you told me you wanted this, I was able to look for this, right? Bring back what they told you so that they know you were listening and you actually cared about what they wanted. A website's not going to listen to them, but you are, right? I really hope this was helpful, even if it's a mindset shift for you. Think about what your value really is so you can share that with the world and draw people into you. All right. Oh, I'm so glad I was a big help and in your confidence of as a TA, as a travel agent. You have to be confident in what you can provide. And when you don't feel confident, call up somebody who has more experience and vent on the phone. And have I cried on the phone to people before? Absolutely, in this business. You do what you have to do to be like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to... We're here. When you don't feel confident, talk to one of us about what you need to do so you can. All right. I'm glad this was really helpful. And I'm glad you guys were able to tune in tonight. You're welcome. Yes, I want to help everybody I can. So that's why I do it. All right. Have a great night, everybody. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys. You're welcome.